Congratulations on that ride. How did it go for you today?
I was pretty happy. It's one of those courses where it's really easy to get carried away, and you've got such a big crowd there. I don't think, I think back to, like Lincoln Grand Prix or Nationals at Bank Road, and those have good crowds, but this was something else. And it was just, you knew if you got a bit too carried away in that first third, you'd pay for it. And I went a bit backwards at the end, but just about had enough. And yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I mean, one of the things I've been talking to you about is the gaps, the huge gaps between Tom and Andy, yourself and the others. Are you surprised by them?
I am and I'm not. I mean, it happens at Nationals. You look back, even last year I know Andy and Tom were a bit closer. But sometimes when someone has that, really good ride, you often get that, 10-second gap, which is, it sounds crazy, but it happens every year really. And yeah, so Tom was absolutely flying today, and I think he deserved it really.
And yourself, you happy with after the Monceau?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably on the limit of how long a course is that I can be competitive
Well, 4 times longer than
yeah, exactly. So yeah, like once it gets past about 2.5 minutes, I know that's kind of on the edge of my range. So yeah, I kind of had a time in mind, and I was pretty much on that today, so I was pretty happy.
How did the crowd compare?
I've never seen a crowd like it. It's early in the morning, it's cold, it's absolutely tipping it down, and yet literally from start to finish the road was packed. Yeah, I think probably the only people that get crowds like that are people racing Grand Tours. As an amateur, it doesn't happen.
So what's the final reaction to the result for you today?
Pretty happy. If you'd have told me when I first started racing hill climbs to get nationals, a podium at nationals, I wouldn't have believed you. So yeah, and to do it on Winnets of all courses.
Well, that's an extra space. It's never going to be forgotten, is it?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, be looking back at this one in a few years, I think, and be pretty happy.
Well done.